You know what it is. Well, thank you so much for being on Life Her podcast. I really appreciate you for just taking the courage to even share your testimony. It means a lot, not only to me, it's going to mean a lot to others too, because, it's hard for people to come out with their truth, especially when they feel judged or, just having that fear there. It's
Yes.
having that fear. So I really appreciate you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for letting me be on this platform. And like I said, Crystal, for letting me be here and just share my story because would nobody know about it unless, I have the platform to say it. So,
Yes. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
all right. So, of course, I'm Asia. I am a speaker and new published author. I am a CEO and founder of Moms Evolve Now, where I help encourage moms through faith and beauty. And I'm just a mom of two active toddlers. And I'm just trying to grind for Jesus the right way, the kingdom way. And that's it.
Aw, that's amazing. So what was it like working with Crystal on No More Residue?
Um, I always reference her as being my mom because I'm the youngest out of all of the women that's in the book. So working with her was just like my second mom telling me what to do, what needs to get done. But besides that, it's just a really great experience because you can tell how much she loves what she does for Christ. And then not only that, she loves women. So if I needed help, if it was situations where I couldn't do something and I didn't know how because this is something really new to me. She took up time, multiple calls throughout the week, hey, get on your post. You need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. But whatever she said was always said in love. So she bold, she courageous,
Yes.
you get all of that. You get the real raw. So
Yes.
real and raw. And I just love that because I prayed for about a year ago. I did pray for God to send a Titus 2 in my life. And I do believe that she is my Titus 2.
Yes. And you know what's so crazy? Since I've been doing this with you guys, she is a beautiful woman inside and out. And
Oh,
it's just her energy gives you energy to want to do something and change your whole entire life. It's like some form of anointing that she has in her. And you be like, wait a minute. But
okay.
but one thing about her, I like her toughness,
Yes.
like her honesty and everything. So I really understand where you coming from. I've learned that.
Yeah, she don't play no games,
No,
but
she
she
does.
wants you to succeed. That's what I like stuff that I've always wanted to do and I didn't know how to do it. She's like, you can do it. And it's just like, but she makes sure that you purge that stuff, that icky stuff that you try to pack down. She's
Yeah,
like, you gotta deal with that right now.
yeah. It's either you gonna love her or you not.
Okay? Either or, exactly. Yes.
So, what inspired you to be a part of No More Residue?
So basically I had joined, I was, strolling on Facebook like I do per usual, and I had been watching Crystal for a long time, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to join one of the courses, which was the shift that she was doing at the time. So anyway, I just went on and stepped out on faith. I joined the course. It was amazing. Then I went on to Crystallize Your Vision, which is her second program. And that's more like a deep end where you kind of get in the ground with her. So after Crystallize Your Vision, about the last day, the Holy Spirit just kind of just dropped on us. That's all I can say. And it was so lit to the point where we had no other choice. But if you was out of alignment without, with that session, then it was just like you knew it. So anyway, the opportunity came and she was like, God, and not only that, I knew a year ago that I was supposed to be in a book. I didn't know how. So when the opportunity came on that last session, and then everything just kind of merged together. So that's when I was like, okay, I need to be a normal residue, which we didn't even know the title when. So that's why you got to be in a relationship with God to know when He wants you to move.
Girl, listen, he will straight up direct you. And you know what's so crazy? He'll come in your sleep.
Okay.
While you driving the car.
Yes.
It come in all different types of directions, and it make you scared, but it make you feel good at the same time.
At the
Because
same
it's like,
time.
thank you, because you pray for signs and have that type of relationship with God, so
Right.
that you are directed in the right direction instead of going in the opposite.
Yes, yes. And that's something that I've always prayed about. Like even when no more residue became an opportunity, I was like, it gotta be your thing, Jesus. Like you gotta guide me. You gotta even make the payments. Like you gotta do
Yep.
this thing for me, Jesus. Because I want to be, I pray for this moment. So don't let the enemy sabotage it with my thoughts. Yeah.
Yes, and with you even sharing your testimony, you gonna come into some bumps where the enemy will try to stop you, because once you let that out and you speak it out, your
Mm,
whole life turned into something totally different,
yes.
because the enemy wanted you to keep that bottled up in you. So that's what's amazing about the title No More Residue, because Crystal done let that all out of y'all. Y'all done got it in the book now, so
Yes.
it's done.
It's
Y'all,
done.
it's done.
At this point, it's so many good stories in that book. Just I can't wait to read Miss Linda, like Prison to Palace. What? I need to know more about that. It's just so many real and raw, transparent, because it's stuff that even I did not want to share. I wanted to share the other thing, but she did. She was like that story, the one that everybody knows. I need that one. So I'm just thankful to be a part of something so grand.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
speaking of that one story, what is
Mhm.
one of the problems that you encountered in your story?
So one of the problems, I was desiring women. Okay, so I had dealt with it since I was a little girl, just like the thoughts going through my head. But as you read in my chapter, not only did the thoughts just stay there, but it began to turn into action. And it sat with me from the time that I was about 13 when I got my menstrual. And I talk about a little bit in my chapter about just the urge, the emotions that my body went through, and then just seeing different things growing up. And I thought that it was okay. A little bit about me, I just thought that, nobody really talked about it. But then I was like, some people, pick on it. So I just kept it to myself. So that was a big thing, just my sexual identity, desiring women, trying to just play with it, see what's popping over there. And I found out in result that it didn't do me any good.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what could you describe the type of thoughts that you were having? Because some people say that people are born that way and they will continue to stay that way, or some people end up transitioning into a totally different life, which is dating the opposite sex.
Right, right. And I definitely thought about that multiple times. Even when I was laying in my bed watching a regular cartoon movie, just regular stuff that a 13-year-old would watch. And as I am just going, like just strolling, about to turn the TV, trying to see the credits about what's coming next. And I seen two women kissing on HBO. So everybody knows Lacking at the end of the night.
Right.
So I seen that, and then some. I just kept on watching. I don't have no example, no really a response for that or explanation for it rather. But I just kept on watching, and in that moment, it felt good. And so what I think that a lot of times the thoughts that were running through my head was, this feels good. It just we pleasing the flesh, so my flesh was being pleased at that moment. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So with you going through that, what do you think about how everything is shown a lot more today on
Mm.
television? And then we have so many youth just watching it, and they come into these situations and they get confused
Yeah.
their sexuality. What advice could you give them of seeing it even more on television now?
The advice that I could give them is just to choose wisely. Like you just gotta be careful on what you are watching, what you are taking in. I don't look at it as the body. The body is our body is our temple. And not just physical, not the tattoos, not the piercings, not the makeup, but what I'm putting in my temple. And so, little girl Asia or a little person, should you be watching that? If you got a question if you're supposed to be watching that, then you don't need to be watching it. If you think you need to be taken in or being around that person that's in that lifestyle, then that's probably no.
Wow. So when you say questioning the things that you're watching or doing, what are ways that you transition your mindset for you not to question it and knowing the difference between something good for you and bad for you?
One thing that I did, I learned my triggers. I learned what because everybody is different. Certain things that I might find attractive, some things that other people might not find attractive. So if I know that I'm going to be tempted in certain areas that I'm trying to grow from, I'm not going to put myself in that situation. And so I try to make sure, and even now, because you're going to fight this thing. This is a fight to the day you die. So okay, so what I make sure that I do is protect my stuff. I protect my mind. If I know I can't go into certain areas, I was even somewhere about a couple of months ago, and the atmosphere reminded me of where I used to be when I was really deep into indulging into women, and I was like, I can't be here. So I decided to walk away. And you just have to know your triggers and know yourself.
Wow. So for you to even build something like so strong for you to do and be consistent with it, how long did it take you to actually reject it?
How long did it take to get me to reject it? It took me all the way from 13 up until I was about 2. So yeah, about all the way till 22.
Okay.
So yeah, it took a long time for me to actually, because the thought was always in my head, and I just decided, towards I got older, I got more privileges to go out and do what I want to do, to make those steps into indulging into other women.
Right. And one thing about that, what I admire about you saying that it took you from the age 13 to 22, that should be a testimony itself to other people to know that even though you have these you know these traits that you have that you feel is toxic for you, it
Mm-hmm.
takes a long time for you to even discipline yourself to even have that straight narrow mindset. And what I see, what you have a village of women
Mm-hmm.
get through it. And obviously they're passionate, they're genuine, and it takes a long time to even be surrounded by women like that to even
Yeah.
help you get through it. So how does it feel when you have that support system?
It feels so good. Oh my goodness. Like, just, and not because I'm not saying that everybody goes through the same thing, but just seeing that they had a hard time too. They had to keep falling and getting back up, and just keep on trying. So that encourages me that even now, if I fall, I can get back up, with those women surrounded about me, around me. And I even talk about my community that I have at my church, and then with No More Residue, it's just like a double. Like, I'm just so thankful for all of it.
That's so good. So
Yeah.
when you were going through this, did other people know? Were you being judged?
No, it was a complete secret. I had about, my husband knew, but when the cover says on No More Residue, secrets, hidden, like hidden secrets, oh my goodness. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people that's listening right now or have seen a little bit, they probably like, what in the world? They should have lost her mind. But no, this was a lot of times, I'm not even mentioning it in my chapter about going to church, putting on the clothes, putting on the heels, and I still had a lot of secrets within myself that I did not want to deal with. And so I just realized that with the sexual identity, with the desires and all that stuff, you got to deal with it. Or if not, it's just going to start spewing out of you, and it's just going to be a lost cause after a while.
Wow. So what message are you trying to bring across for everyone that are listening and that will read the rest of your chapter?
The message that I'm trying to deliver is, first of all, that you shouldn't give up on yourself. If you want a change, you gotta be the change. You gotta step out and learn how to work with yourself. Because the message that I really want to push out is that oh my goodness, like my favorite scripture is the which one is the new creature in Christ, all things are become new, because all things are passed away, then the new becomes, because we'll be so focused on the past. Like I could have easily just stayed on I cheated on my husband with a woman, I did all of this, did all of that. Now what's next? Like Satan was telling me to kill myself, but no, there's more to your life. And just like No More Residue talks about, just deal with the residue, deal with the speck, so that you can become that new person that you've always seen yourself to be.
Wow. So while you're just even think about you writing this or even thinking about the steps, and no one is going to be out to the public, what challenges did you face and that you encounter while trying to tell your story?
I definitely got some pushback, with myself and
Mhm.
with others, but I'll talk more about myself because I just didn't want to, it's an image. Everything is an image. We got social media. I present myself in front of people a certain way. I try to be as relatable and realistic as I possibly can. But I knew that this was something that was different from my normal. And so just me having to deal with the doubt, the fear. It was so much fear, so much nervousness added to that. And so that can become a ball of, I'm just not going to do it. And so that's why I'm glad I had Crystal. Each meeting, y'all got to do it. Y'all got to y'all, come on, come on, come on. So that's why I'm so grateful, because without that push for her to push me, oh my goodness, no, y'all would have never known.
Well, I'm glad that you shared it and you just took your time with that. I want to backtrack on you saying about your image that you have in social media and everything. One thing that we do have to think about is other people don't have perfect lives either. They just chose not to let their testimonies out.
Yes.
People could be living a totally different life compared to the things that we see. So you shouldn't be ashamed of anything that you have going on, because that is your testimony. It is your life. It is your destination. And that's something that God wanted you to do for you.
Yes.
So you, like a lot of people, even yourself, even myself, we have to keep that in mind, because that's the point of like the people pleasing that we have, the things that how her testimony was
Yes.
pleasing, and that's where all of that come in at too, because that's a part of it. We all find our ways and be like, no, I don't want to do this, but it's a blessing that you're releasing it now, because you're going to see your career go to a whole nother level that you couldn't even imagine.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. So how would you feel that your story would help women?
With women, I think the aspect of me mentioning I like the lifestyle of being a mom, that's something that most of us desire, to be a mom, to be a wife, and have that essence vibe look with the perfect kitchen and making the food. So I had it. And I mean, I still got it, but it's just, and behind the scenes, I still had this stuff inside of me, this gut, and even if their thing might not be desiring women, I just feel like it's so much that as women, we just cover up,
Yes.
we just want to be strong, but we can't be strong all the time. I realize all the time, and that's something that I always encourage when I talk to just ladies in my community and all those things. I'm like, deal with it, because you gotta, if you want to evolve, if you really want to see your best God-given stuff that He planted you down here for, you gotta come on, you gotta deal with it. Right, just that's it. Because I realized when I was when I was steady doing the motions, making the chicken nuggets and all of the wifely duties, I was still not happy. I wasn't evolved. I wasn't doing nothing that made me happy. I would never be satisfied. I still found myself like, what's this? What's next? What's next? Because I was unsatisfied within myself.
Wow. So what was one of the first things when you even noticed that you wasn't happy with yourself and you wasn't satisfied?
Um, it was first it was being a stay-at-home mom. It was that aspect because I was like, this not it. You know, I don't mind taking care of the kids. I don't mind doing that. But it was a part that Crystal always mentions. You know, it's more to your life, and that is what I felt. It's more to me. Like, I'm not sugarcoat. I'm not, putting down anybody that enjoys that. But for Ava, I know, no, makeup, hair, nails, something. Come on, Jesus. I just kept praying and I just really went to God about it. You can go to God about anything. And when I went to God about God, this stay-at-home mom stuff just really not hitting it right now. What else? What is my purpose? That's something that I really went to him. What is my purpose? And before I knew it, just slowly he just started putting people in my life to push me into my purpose.
That's a true blessing. So how is your everyday life walking now since you shared your secret publicly?
Mm. It's the fear still tries to rise up. When you do something that just really shakes hell, okay, it just really send them out, and it's up to me to fight it off. And so I'm always, going to the Father. I do a lot of more fasting, and I just make sure that I stay close to Him because honestly, that's my source. It's not even a YouTube video or a certain person that I can talk to. It's really him that calms me down and says, you got this, keep going, keep telling your story. And me telling my story is just not only freeing others, but it's freeing myself. And then show me what else do I need to deal with.
Yes. One thing that brought to my attention is that you said that your husband was the only one that knew.
Mm-hmm.
How did that conversation go? How did he feel once he found out that you had those type of feelings of liking the opposite sex?
Well, he's a real chill guy. Like he chill, but he not chill. So when it comes to me, it's like he really has to process what's going on. So it did take a lot of conversations, especially once he found out that I had basically committed adultery with another woman on him. That just kind of hit him like it was a knife that turned in his stomach and you could see it. So that did put a dagger in our marriage because I waited so long to deal with that secret, to deal with that hidden thing that it showed, no matter the marriage, the kids, it did not fix it. It did not cover, it tried to cover up, but eventually it came out. And so, yes, it did, hurt him. He had to deal, really talk to me about different things and the aspect of, okay, do you want to keep doing this? Do you feel like you need to be doing that? What's next with us and all of those things. But he just wanted to make sure that I was okay.
That's sweet.
Mm.
That's really sweet. Now, when you did have a a sexual relationship with another woman, I
Mhm.
saw in your testimony it was you drinking alcohol and it went to the next level.
Mhm.
Could you tell me, elaborate more on that?
Sure. So around that time, that was when I was still in high school.
Okay.
It's two different parts. That's why the chapter is definitely more detailed. But that was the first when I really started putting my hand and just far as trying to see what's popping, trying to see like what it's all about, despite the facts of watching the movie and seeing what they was doing. Now I wanted to just see really what my flesh was telling me to do, and I wanted to indulge. So in that aspect, after I finally was there in the moment, I didn't feel good after I woke up the next day. That's following after. I just don't know how to explain. It's almost like when you go get an ice cream cone, you see the picture. You're like, oh my goodness, now I got to taste for ice cream. I need to go get me an ice cream cone. You go to the shop and you get it, but then it's like, oh, my stomach start hurting because you just desired it for that moment, but it wasn't good for you. You probably really didn't need it in that moment. So although I was desiring it and I tried it, when I woke up the next day, I talk about it in my chapter. It was just like, really, Asia? Like, is that you? Is that really the new you? So that's why I never, for me personally, can agree that you're born like that because it's something, it's a speck somewhere that within my life that I was like, I seen that thing, that planted a seed. Seeds
Right.
grow, whether they're good or bad. So it's just where I just really kept indulging over and over, knowing that it wasn't good for me.
Wow. And that was your first time then?
That was my first time.
Wow. How old were you?
I was 13. I was
Wow,
13.
13. And that's when you were figuring it all out.
Trying to figure it out. It starts early. It starts so early. I mean, oh my goodness, the stories that I hear, you just be surprised. And that's why I just really work with the youth as much as I possibly can. I love my moms, but I try to work with the youth because I know that even now we're seeing it on movies, we're seeing it on TV, we see it on Instagram. They get on a YouTube Kids app and see it. So can you imagine what's going on in their head? So that's what I try to say to myself. You telling your story is going to help that 5-year old or that 7-year old, or even that 13-year-old.
Yes. And you know, you're not lying because I have personally, I had a youth program with girls. And it's so funny that now that they're grown, like they're in their 20s now,
Mhm. Oh,
I see them make statuses now saying that they want a girlfriend.
yeah.
Well, and it's like, man, I never knew that. You know, even back then, you know, they always had different ways of expressing themselves, but they're
Yeah.
actually just letting it out now. And then next thing you know, they said, no, I want a boyfriend instead. But sometimes
Mhm.
it takes a from the kids seeing so much, it creates them want to monkey see, monkey do. It's
Yeah.
like, she doing it, so this is the it thing. This is the popular thing to do.
Yes, yes. And it's also, I feel like, a thing of attention seeking. See, in
Yes,
my story, I talk about it because at the time I just really desired to have a really deep relationship with my father. And because it wasn't there at that time, now God has already shifted it into a whole nother thing, but at that time it wasn't there. And so whenever I felt rejected, whenever I felt like I didn't get the attention that I wanted, whether it was from anybody that I loved and cared about. As soon as they showed me that, I said, okay, now I'm gonna go get who gonna show me that attention that I want. So the attention seeking, it does work together. And I just felt like at that time, even with the marriage, I wasn't getting the attention that I wanted. And so I said, go and go please yourself. And that's what I did. And then result, boom. It's hurting me, myself and others. Yeah.
so even with you being so young, having that mindset, did you show any signs for your parents to even notice it?
I didn't feel like that at the time, but my mom is very in sync with me. Like whenever, I mean, it's your mom, so she know who you are.
Yeah.
When I now that we talk about it a little bit, she was like, I knew it, and she was like, the Lord just had me coming against it, and she said, I just didn't know why. She said, but it was for you, and so I just thank God for a praying mama. I thank God for that because it does help. Nobody knew besides my husband, So for God to whisper that into her ear and for her to be obedient, I'm thankful because your mama's prayers can really save your life. Okay.
Yes. Your mamas and anybody else close to you.
Anybody. Yes. Yes.
That is so true. What advice could you give women and young women to even that is battling this situation?
Um, I could just tell them to just start journaling how you feel, or either go to therapy because those two things mashed together definitely helped me. And then I just encourage you to start working on you. When you work on you, you begin to see not just the layer of maybe desiring other women, but you start seeing what's the root of it. Like, what's the roots under that? Is it rejection? Is it, people pleasing, whatever it may be, because you can deal with yourself, and then you will start to see it on the outside, and then just continue to grow and just love on you.
Yeah.
Love you for who you are, who God designed you to be. He didn't make you like everybody else. So you are unique, and it's okay.
Yes, it definitely is. One of the things that brought me to my attention was you said seek therapy. Did you get therapy for it?
I didn't go to therapy for it, but I went to therapy just to vent it out, to vent out not just that, but all aspects of my life. So yes, dealing with the rejection, the attention seek, those roots that I just mentioned about, I went to it for that. And then I also shared with her about all of the designs of women. And she definitely helped me to deal with it all in the aspect. So it's definitely, therapy is needed. I don't know why we are so against therapy, but
Yes. That's
it
what I was going to ask you, because the reason why I was asking you about therapy, and I'm glad that we have people that are watching now. Do you feel like the therapy helped you get through everything that you were going through at that moment and put you in a place where you do love yourself? Because some people don't think therapy will help them.
Listen, oh my goodness. I didn't even I went through life, and I was like, I would hear people say you're pretty or you're good at this, and but I didn't know it. I didn't feel like that. So with therapy, when you go there and it's certain attributes about yourself that you know that's there, but you don't feel it, you look in the mirror and you're like, okay, what's next? Therapy will pull that stuff out. It will give you tools on when you have anger issues, when you feel like you don't want to get out of bed and you're crawling into depression. Oh my goodness, she helped me so much to break that stuff down and deal with it on an everyday basis. Because obviously you can't evolve in a day, 24 hours. So that's why I enjoyed therapy, because she showed me the process.
That's good. That's good. And that is needed, because it's kind of sad, because if a lot of people went to therapy, they understand and they will see different things that they have encountered in life. They see the situations where they need growth at.
Yes.
It's a lot of things that's needed, and I recommend it to anyone. And I'm so happy that you did go.
Yes.
It'll help you move forward on a lot of things.
It will. And it will make you not hold so much hate and hurt inside of you either. Like, I had to forgive my dad. I had to forgive other people, and planting certain seeds inside of my mind. So that way I can see what's this new version. But it's up to you. It's always a choice at the end of the day. But therapy is definitely highly recommended on my end.
Wow. So briefly, can you tell our listeners right now how to even purchase your book right now, and give them a little hypeness
Okay.
about No More Residue?
Listen. So here we go. This is No More Residue, honey. No More Residue.com. You have you have 16, okay, including myself, 16 bold women. Not okay, just forget about the boldness. Forget that. Forget that. Just the real and raw stories. See, the thing is, in Christianity, don't nobody want to tell the rawness, how what happened before I got saved, or why I was saved and I was still, it had stuff inside of me that I didn't want to tell nobody. I was putting on the hats and shoes. No, like how Jesus can really save you from that. So those stories, No More Residue is the it. It's the it thing. You want to read something at night besides your Bible, make sure you grab No More Residue, because oh my goodness, y'all. And not only that, it's helping you to stay encouraged. And she got different aspects in there where you can work and you feel like, okay, I can do this. It's a process. I just said that. So if you really want to change, you really want to shift all of that stuff, you gotta buy No More Residue for real.
That's good.
Yeah.
See, listen, one thing about your energy is something amazing.
Thank
His
you.
special kind, but I really would like for everyone to purchase No More Residue right now. It is an amazing book. We are in a season of healing. We are in a season of changing our lives, feeling uplifted, feeling inspired, and listening to other women that can work together as one. And
Yes.
and I'm so happy that you guys are doing this because it's so rare
Mm,
women come together and do something like this.
what?
Really rare. And just sharing and pouring everything out.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the blessing itself because listen, y'all about to save some lives with No More Residue.
Okay. Hashtag saving lives, because the book, it just don't share one aspect of life. It's giving
Yes.
you from everything. I'm so stuck on this prison to palace. What is she talking about? I need to know. I'm just ready to get my coffee and just take the book and just from the front to the back.
Yes, definitely. So before we end, could you share something uplifting and inspiring for everyone that's listening right now?
Yes. So, first of all, I want to say God is able. He's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or even think. He cares about you. He's concerned about whatever you are going through, whether it be depression, whether it be a broken heart, or you feel rejected. If you got desires that you just want to deal with, oh my goodness, He want to hear all about it. And I just want you to push. I want you to know that you are somebody and that He has good plans for you. When you deal with you, oh my goodness, like you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it for yourself, and then your children are gonna see it, your parents are gonna see it. Everybody that has invested time into you and told you that you can make it, you're gonna start to see it for yourself, and it's gonna feel so good. Okay.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being
Yes,
on her podcast. I can't wait to read it myself.
I'm so anxious. Like I just like, can you put it under my Christmas tree?
Like seriously, because we may read. You remember the coldest winter ever?
No, I didn't. No, I'm gonna.
It's a good. It's like how the drama books are, and people always want to read it and everything. It
Yeah.
it's just No More Residue is on a whole nother level of reading a drama book to a book that is real life.
Real life.
And you actually could see the person, you could meet the person, you
Yes.
can do any and everything, and that's what's so special about it because you got a huge movement going on.
Thing.
It's
It's
good.
all things. Listen, I'm just so thankful for Crystal just being obedient, because this is a big assignment. This is a
Oh
huge assignment. So for her to take all of that on, and then what she has been doing behind the scenes, oh my goodness. Like it's just not even the talking, it's the bonuses. This was a bonus, So I'm just so thankful for her just taking on that, because giving her the strength to keep pushing. And the book itself is just a way to encourage you. Like when I read my story, I'm like, I'm really that girl. So I can only imagine when I'm reading the rest of the stories, you're gonna feel like I'm that person. Like I just went through that. And then you can get healed, and you can just read the lessons that we have like went through and been through, and you're able to say, okay, if she did it, I can do it.
yes, that is the whole purpose of it.
That's the whole purpose.
Or even knowing somebody that's going through it now, be like, hey, you need to get this book.
You need to get this book.
This.
Yes, yes. I mean, everybody get the book, because it's gonna help. Like we are in a season right now where it's just a lot going on, and
Yes, it
you
is.
want to not focus so much on the outside and focus within yourself. Because at the end of the day, this is a by yourself journey. So if you really want to deal with yourself, I think that the book is going to be good, because it's going to help you and guide you.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Well, thank you again. I really appreciate you for being on the show. And I wish you nothing but the best. We have to keep in touch.
Yes, I'm so thankful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. See you later.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.